Let's bring in Jeff Goodman right now, college basketball insider. And Jeff, the NCAA tournament was already going to be played in empty arenas. You have conference tournaments still going on with people in the stands. What can you tell us about the way you expect these conferences and the NCAA tournament to proceed?
You know, as of now, almost every conference tournament that's still going on, there's about 20 plus right now, have decided to have their conference tournaments, keep them going, other than the Ivy, of course, without fans. But that could change now. I mean, we just saw a video of Nebraska head coach Fred Hoiberg looking terrible on the sidelines. I had a source tell me he had to leave the game with 4 minutes left and was rushed to the hospital. And he felt ill earlier today, according to the source. And, you know, we'll see. Obviously, Hoiberg was in the NBA, too, with the Bulls and has had some heart issues over the years. So we don't know what it is. But all it took was one player in the NBA, Rudy Gobert, for them to suspend it. I think the same thing is going to happen in college basketball. It's going to take one person, one coach, one player. Again, listen, I'm supposed to go tomorrow morning to New York for the Big East tournament, and then I was going to fly Friday to Indy for the Big Ten tournament. There's no way in hell I'm going. I'm sitting home. I'm watching games. If there's going to be games, which I'm not sure of right now.
Jeff, what's your reaction to what the NBA did tonight, and do you think the season is lost in its entirety?
I think you had to do it. I think you have to do it because of the uncertainty. You know, a couple of days ago, I would have said, like most people, you're crazy. But now, just with the uncertainty, with how quickly it's moving, I think it was a smart thing to do. And you suspend it, and I think the NCAA might do the same thing. Suspend the NCAA tournament. Right now, again, it's without fans, but, you know, they want to keep that money, certainly with a TV contract with CBS. But I think everybody's covering their own you-know-whats here. And they're trying to make sure that they don't end up getting sued at the end of the day. So you've got to be cautious. And, again, safety should be paramount in all of this.
I want to go back to something you said. All right, let's say they were to suspend the NCAA tournament. In your mind, how would that look? I mean, how far could you push it back? Felge said earlier, hey, why not have April Madness? Why not have May Madness? How far could you extend it and still have a viable tournament?
Well, the hardest thing is, right, I mean, seniors graduating, kids declaring for the draft. That's the thing. You can't push it back too far because these kids are going to go through the draft process. They're done when school ends. You know, for seniors is what? I mean, trying to think of the earliest schools when you're out in May, maybe down south. So I think there is a deadline to when you can push it back. So it's not that far.
Okay, that's presuming these kids actually go to school. Obviously, that's a whole other story.
So we were talking about
go to school. Jeff, we were talking about this earlier. We've all covered pro sports, and we all know what petri dishes those locker rooms are, and how when there's a flu that takes hold of a team, it infects the entire team, and they all get laid up. And these staph infections is another example of things that are just hyper contagious. And these environments in these locker rooms and these sports it just proliferates in those environments more than any other environment maybe I've ever seen. So I'm personally, I would be stunned if the entire Utah Jazz weren't infected, or entire teams, because that's the way it works in pretty much every other infection.
Listen, I just I talked to a player with the Utah Jazz G League team, and he told me they're all being quarantined right now because they have two-way guys that were with the big team, Jarrell Brantley and Mie Oni, last week. So right now they're waiting, as we speak, for somebody to come and test them. They're in Phoenix. The game was canceled. They're in Phoenix playing the Suns G League team, and if either one of them obviously tests positive, then they're going to test the entire team.
Jeff, have you seen anything like this in your professional career? Anything come close to the magnitude of what we're all now dealing with?
No, zero. I mean, zero. But, I asked Bob Ryan this earlier today, and he said he's never seen anything like this. So, the only time I've ever seen a game with limited amount of fans, and obviously this situation overall doesn't compare, but I'm just talking about a game with very limited fans, was I covered the 2008 SEC tournament, and there was a tornado that hit the Georgia Dome. And they moved it to Georgia Tech the rest of the tournament, in which they were only allowed, I think it was like 200 fans apiece. And Georgia ended up winning 4 games in 3 days. They had to play 2 games in 1 day. They won the SEC tournament. So that was kind of surreal in a sense of a game and a tournament being played with virtually nobody there.
All right, Jeff Goodman joining us on the phone, college basketball insider. Jeff, thank you so much.